cool. Kevin, how you doing?
Oh, wow. Yes.
The
Aaron, was it
Hancocks.
Yahtzee or Yutzi?
Shut up.
Awesome.
Is it Dee Dee's
Awesome.
birthday too?
Yep.
Yes.
Shut the front door. I don't remember getting a Facebook announcement on that.
Uh-oh.
I noticed today, you guys, I went on
Yeah.
Facebook and like I know Meta's like trying to heavily lean into AI, like extremely. But man, I clicked to go say happy birthday to Lisa Marie and Dee Dee, and it was like, hey, I already wrote your reply and put emojis in there. Just click one button and you can say happy birthday.
Oh,
And
that's already been there for a
I'm
while,
like,
actually.
are we even wishing people happy birthday anymore?
Well, I
Yeah, it's
did. I
crazy.
have my own way. And we will have our way with everybody here shortly. So let's go ahead and get
Hi,
things
Jay. Hi,
rolling.
Dustin.
All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad to have you with us on the AMAs. Ask Me Anything with the A-Amazing Robert Hollis. March once. Once? Number one, ST? No, that's first.
Okay.
Got to make sure. Sorry. So glad to have you with us. We got a lots to do today, and we are so grateful that you are here with us. Just a FYI, we have over 117,000 subscribers to our channel. I know,
Crazy.
I cannot believe it. To be exact, 117,843. So we are close to 118,000. Why? Because of you, each and every one of you. Thank you so very much for your support. We want to continue growing our channel so that we can reach out to those with ears that hear, with lots of great information and a lot of the things that we share here on this channel. So thank you so very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. Now, the whole idea behind Ask Me Anything is that you get to ask a certified millionaire any question. Very, very simple. If you're watching us on YouTube or on Zoom, you can go ahead and use the chats, put your questions in the chat. We will ask on your behalf. The better way to do that, what we like to do, is interact with you. And so to do that, if you need to be here on Zoom, if you're watching us on YouTube, you want to join us in Zoom, there's a link at the top of the chat there in YouTube. Join us there. And then you come into Zoom, you raise your hand, and we will call on you to chat with Robert Hollis. Very simple to do. Put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see my face. On the very bottom, right about here in the middle somewhere, there's a button that says raise hand. Click on that. We will call on you in the order in which we receive you. That's the beauty of Ask Me Anything AMA, because you get to ask anything that you would like. That's how simple it is. Now, a couple of things before we get started. First of all, we like to say a little meme before we get started. And Robert, I love what you shared earlier, especially for today, because we're now starting the last month of the first quarter of the new year. Well, we're already into 2025. So anyways, so Robert posted this just the other day, and so good in how you think about yourself. You are more than a human being. You are a human becoming.
Some of you know where that came from.
Yes. So there we go. Now, what I want to do before we get this whole thing started, and I think Robert has a very good message for today as we start our AMAs. We have a few birthdays to celebrate. And of course, we do that in the only way that we know how to here on Ask Me Anything, with the cameras that are on and with everybody unmuted in just a moment. We have to celebrate. And now there are 3 birthdays that we're celebrating. I don't know if the third one is here, but we definitely know that 2 of the 3 are here. Dee Dee Aston, Lisa Marie Cook, and Michael Markison. So Michael's been with us several times. I don't know. I couldn't tell if he is with us or not. Sometimes he's in the YouTube chat, but I think we should all enjoy and celebrate their birthdays. Let me unmute everybody for just this short, brief time, and then we'll go back to what we got going. But we all got to sing happy birthday. So there, we've unmuted everybody. On the count of 3, let's get started. 1, 2, 3.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to you.
Cha cha
Happy
cha.
birthday to
Happy
you.
Cha cha
birthday,
cha.
Happy
dear
Birthday,
birthday,
dear
Dee and
Dee, Lisa
Eric.
Marie, and
Happy birthday
Michael.
to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
you. Wow, wow, wow,
And
wow.
many more.
Oh,
Hercules,
yes.
Hercules, Hercules.
Hang on just a second.
Yay.
Let's see. We're going to do that. And then we got to do that. And where's the other one? There we go. So, welcome again, everybody, to the Ask Me Anything with the amazing Robert Hollis. And we've got some great things going on today. So, let's just get it started. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Robert Hollis.
Thank you very much, Craig with the mostest, hostess with the mostest. And again, love you, Lisa Marie, Dee Dee, and Eric when you watch the replay here. And if I didn't say hi to you guys, I think I said hi to everyone. I don't know, Mary, if you were on here already, but hello. I love and appreciate you guys. And you guys are really gonna love the beginning of this AMA, and then we'll get into the Q&A. I want to share with you guys that I'm human. And I just recently made some pretty huge fucking mistakes. Really huge fucking mistakes. And I know that none of you are going to relate to me when I say this. None of you. Because this has never happened to any of you. Hi, Jody. Hi, Lucas. None of you have had this thing go on with you, right? So what I did is, for whatever reason, I seen something on television. And, they were talking about X, 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 X. And I went, I'm going to go over there and check it out. And not only did I go over there and check it out, but it sucked me in. I mean, big time. I paid for, the approval thing, and I'm going through, and it's like immediately everything else that I had going on, I'm now focused, and I'm really, really focused on creating an X account. You know what I mean? And I'm just following it. I'm just going into it, man. And all of a sudden, I'm not posting on Facebook or any other social media. I'm sure not doing anything on YouTube. Just sort of at the end of the, around my end of the year, my birthday, figure out what I want to do for 2025, the year I want to be alive. And in a blink of an eye, I should have listened to the signs. Have any of you said, "Hey, listen, I'd like to see a sign for the path and the journey I'm supposed to be on"? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, so then I tried to pay $2,000 to be an organization with X, right? And they came back and said, "Hey, we're going to give you a refund on your $2,000 because it looks like your account is a personal person. It's not an organization." So now I'm going to make this happen. Any of you ever see signs that you didn't realize were signs, so you're just going to logically make it fucking happen anyway? Because that's what you can do, right? You don't have to be guided and led with your instincts or the universe. You can just bypass what you're supposed to do what you want to do. Right? All logic, right? And man, when you get on that path, how many rules you can come up with? You can justify anything. I'm not saying you guys do this or someone. I'm just saying, okay, that I did this. And so, hi, Tom. And so all of a sudden, it comes back and it says you have to be an organization. So now what I do is I unfocus Matthew. And I go and I say, "Matthew," I said, "listen, we got all the incorporation pages for the Hollis organization. Would you do me a favor?" They say that I need an email address and a web page and also a whole deal for the Hollis organization. Now, when I said this, I sort of got slapped, and Matt didn't know he slapped me. And he goes, "Dad, remember the whole Hollis family talked about this? We went to 99 Designs. We already created a logo and everything for the Hollis organization. It's been incorporated for 7 years. We have all that stuff." I was like, what? How many of you that have been around me with the Imaginators and also the Inner Circle remember when people like you guys, Lisa Marie and people that I love and Corky came out and said, hey, why don't you put together an organization that we all can be a part of? Any of you guys remember this? And it's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And we did. Why did I fucking forget about it? All right, so now I know why X got my attention is because the universe, God, whatever you want to believe, couldn't get my attention any other fucking way. All right, so the things that the universe, God whispers to us and tells us where our imagination should be and what we should be going after. I'm human and I get distracted. And so Matt creates all that. And as soon as he gets done creating it and I'm ready to pay the $2,000 and go into X, they send me a message and they say, your account's restricted. Now, they could say anything. And I probably would have been, oh, okay. No, listen to what they say. This fucking makes me emotional. They said, after evaluating your account, we consider you not authentic, that you're not a real person, that your account portrays like a fake account. They could have just said you followed too many people, you're spamming too many people. They could have said a million words. But telling me that I'm not authentic, fucking rocked me. And I sat there and I thought for a while and I giggled. I sent it to Craig and Matt. I said, guess what? I even though I did live videos on my channel, X doesn't think I'm authentic. And of course, Matt and Craig, being the incredible partners that they are, they're like, X fucked up. Don't worry about it. Just send them whatever you need, and they're going to look at your account and they're going to reinstate it. And so I did that. And they said that they would do it within 3 to 5 days. The 5 days is surpassed. So this immediately makes me evaluate everything. Because I let go and let God, the universe, I asked for, signs. And I'm like, listen, hit me upside with the head with the bat, push me sideways, do me physical. I say, listen, I surrender all. It's you. I surrender all. If you need to knock me on my ass, for those of you that are not religious, God got Moses' attention with a burning bush in the middle of the desert, or knocked off a donkey, knocked off an ass. There's all these stories where apparently someone that's not paying attention really needs to be get paid attention. At exactly the same time is I could not miss on tap to trade. I was like, I got this, man. I got this. I was closing out while Joe was losing. I was like watching the patterns and I made $20,000 in a month. And I'm thinking, wow, you know what? I could easily just do this and teach people to do this. And this would be really, really something great, right? And then, like Matt, I'm $500 away from passing. And all of a sudden, 3 trades in a row, lost $6,000. And I'm like, what? Joel loses 77% on his account. Do you know that this guy has broken records for himself and the company and every trader he knows for the last 4 months? And for those of you that don't like football or sports, please listen to this analogy. Some of you have heard of a thing called the Super Bowl. But for those of you that don't follow Mahomes, the quarterback for the Chiefs. The last 4 games that he played to get to the Super Bowl, they were behind and a lot of points. And in the fourth quarter, in the last couple of minutes, like a lot of quarterbacks get great attention for, you couldn't count him out. And he won. So behind, they're making mistakes. He wills it, and he wins. And he beats the Bills again in the playoffs and makes it to the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce, Swift's boyfriend, they were just like unstoppable. And then they showed up in the Super Bowl, and both of them had the worst game of their career, while hundreds of millions of people watched. And you're like going, not completing a pass is not good. Completing a pass to the other team, that's called an interception, and they get to take the ball away from you, that's second worst. Third worst, they catch it and run back for a touchdown and score 7 more points on you, the worst possibility ever, right? And just his line couldn't do what they needed to do. And he's never been rushed more times, and he's never been sacked more times. It's like their whole team on worldwide television fell apart. And so I reached out to Joel right away. Me and Arthur, I took my greatest miracle in the world and went down to the UPS store, put it in, wrote him a nice note, paid $65 for him to get it the next day, because I knew how much money he tied into doing for us what he knew he could do. And then the market changed on him, and he lost 77% in 3 days. So that wouldn't be bad enough, but then they stop him from doing tap to trade, say he needs to cool off for a little while. This has happened a couple other times to him. And then after they tell him to cool off, then they posted where you could see tap and trade results. And it just showed a straight line, 77% loss. And he now goes from the front to the back. He goes from the number 1 trader that Akashics has to the number worst trader in 3 days. And so I gave him that analogy of what happened with Mahomes, and he did know who he was. And he was just like so grateful and so thankful. And he's going, he says, this has happened to me a few times, and I'm just going to rebuild, and I'm going to go back. And I'm like going, wow, it was just the last AMA where I was telling everybody that, tap and trade is the deal. And all of you should go to X. So sometimes I get really, really excited about things, and I listen to my mind and my justification of my mind, and I don't listen to my heart and my instincts. So immediately I'm like going, oh my God, a week later, I got to get on AMA and go, hey, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm not on X anymore. And so my mind sort of beat me up. Any of you beat yourself up? I thought I would do the first part of this. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because the things I tell you guys not to fucking do, I'm doing. And not years ago, in the last week. So people that sometimes are very bold, and it's her birthday today, and Lisa Marie comes out and just goes, listen, man, I don't know why I'm such a fuck up. And we all console her and tell her she's on the right track and everything's okay. I sort of need that from all of you today. And so sometimes you have to shut everything down, try to shut the brain off, and just try to allow yourself to talk to yourself. So instead of logically trying to figure things out, maybe what you should do is instinctively figure them out. And so when I sat back, I asked myself questions all the time. I learned to do that. And I just went, okay, if it's not X, what is it? I already told you what it is. You're in the top 0.06% of all YouTube people. You fought me with Facebook. You plugged into YouTube for a little while, then you abandoned it, went back to Facebook. Then you get a plaque and you fucking go to X. Don't give me permission to knock it out of your hands. Because I'm gonna make it so obvious for you, right? And some of you are going down paths logically, and it doesn't feel good. You're not getting any results. Sometimes it upsets you. You want to quit. You isolate yourself. You feel like you're a fucking loser, and you got to listen to yourself. Would you do that for me? Would you get out of your brain and just step back and go, okay, what was some things that I've done in the last year that gave me joy, that made me feel good, that when I seem to do them, they seem to be really effortless. So am I telling you not to go to X? I am not. You should be telling you, yes, X, no X. Are you hearing me? Because I have shared with you that I think that YouTube's a pretty good platform. Lisa Marie said, yes. Most of you said, not interested, ain't fucking doing it. Okay, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't feel good. Are you guys hearing me? You know, if Robert's doing something or Tony Robbins are doing something or whoever's doing something, don't we have a tendency of going, God dang it, I need to do what they're doing. I need to do what they're doing. I need to do what they're doing. And I've shared with you guys a really big, huge mistake that I made in the past. And that's when a network marketing company let me down. And so then I took a bunch of money and decided to hire Ray Higdon and be a personal coach, blogger, course creator, author, international speaker. That was logical. Ain't doing network marketing anymore. Gonna find out what these clowns are doing. I can do it just as good as they do. And I did. And so me and Matt made $3 million, and I'm looking at it, and I come in, and you guys have heard the conversation, but new people that watch this, and I walk in, and I can immediately, have you guys ever walked in on somebody and you immediately feel their energy like just pushes you? And I walked in, and I said, Matt, what's wrong? And he goes, nothing. Anybody ever asked if there's something wrong and you go, nothing? And I grabbed a chair, pulled up to him, turned his chair around. It was right in this very office. And I said, Matt, just tell me what it is. He goes, the stuff that we do every day, I hate it. I hate it. We're doing nothing but doing shit that other people are doing. I'm not creative. Every time we get just really good at advertising, Facebook changes it, destroys everything that we're doing. And I'm just tired of this repeat bullshit stuff that's not getting us the results that we need. I said, thanks for telling me. We'll find something else to do. And he goes, listen, we can't do that. This is how we take care of our family. And I'm going, no, I will find something. And as soon as I said that, then Terry tells me, hey, can you find me some good CBD online? Boom. Do you guys realize on March 6th, it'll be 7 years that I made that decision? 7 years ago. Okay. So I want you to reflect back at things that you felt like you're supposed to do because everybody else is doing them, but it's working for other people and not working for you. All right. I know there's people on the planet that when someone dies or they're murdered, they get a call to come investigate the crime scene of a dead body. Isn't it interesting that some things you and I can immediately look at and say, nah, that's not fucking for me. I don't want to be what a ICS guy or whatever it is, right? Isn't that some funny things that you guys like me? I always used to make the joke, and I can bring it back, is that I could admire figure skaters. That's just not a path for me. It wasn't a path when I could have did it. It sure ain't a path today. Are you guys following me? So let me close this up by very, very simply saying to you guys that I know I don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this. All right. But I hope that each and every one of you can find it in your heart to forgive me. I get excited. I'm good at getting myself super excited with imagination. I then draw those imaginary things in my head. And then what I do is I'm one of those guys that once I feel it, then I tell the world, and then I figure it out. And I'm just human, and I'm sorry that I shared with you guys some thoughts and things that you've seen that I was excited about, that I was following my logic and not my heart. So if you got excited about those things because I can get people excited, forgive me. I'm sorry. So you're going to see a lot of things that I'm going to start doing on what God called me to do. We're going to 1 million subscribers. The content that you're going to see on that is going to be very uniquely. We haven't come up with a name before. I mean, yet. But I did tell you guys that, we stepped away from Imaginators and Inner Circle. But I want you guys all to throw out in the universe thoughts of stuff. If you want to send me a personal a message, do it. But we're going to put something new together in the next week that we're going to launch. And it's going to be something that we all can plug into. Now, I love the name of Imaginators, so that's out there. But what the whole principle is going to be around is this simple thought. Do you guys really understand by hanging around people how simple life is? Life is really, really simple. It's very, very easy. And man, can we just use our mind to fuck it all up? Right? I mean, fast. We start beating ourselves up. We start saying that we're not enough. We start saying that we're not good enough. We start saying that we're not intelligent enough. We start saying that we're not good looking enough. We start getting pissed off about our voice. My voice fucking irritates me. You know what I mean? And so we just come up with all these things of why we shouldn't do the thing that we know that we're called to do. And this goes back to that saying that I wanted you guys to remember, is that you know how we figure out what is our path? By trying things and finding out what is not our path. The people that make the most mistakes, again, I love that from Richard Branson. You guys probably heard me say this before, but it's always worth saying, is that a journalist, pulled him to a side and says, what is the number one thing that's made you successful? And he said, wisdom. Without a shadow of a doubt, wisdom. And he goes, great. He says, where does wisdom come from? And he says, making a lot of fucking mistakes. See, people just don't want to make mistakes. I want to go down this road. 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 And you just keep doing that, right? Until you find something that, whoa, this seems to be a little effortless. This seems to be a lot more fun. But some of the subjects I'm going to talk about is not only how easy life is, but you guys know that I know this, which is funny. It just means that I'm not immune to it. Is I know why things don't work for you. Do you guys know that about me? Every one of you I could talk to on a personal level, and I know why things are not working for you. And I won't give up all the stuff that I'm going to do on the new videos with the new title. We'll figure it out. But here's what it is in a nutshell. When you feel stuck and you don't have hope, you're not asking for help. It goes all the way back to my very first fucking book. It's like we isolate ourselves and we use the same thinking that got us to where we are, and we try to use that mind to get us out of that. It's our inability to reach out to somebody and say, hey, listen, can I get a couple of minutes of time? I'm stuck. Things are not working. I don't want 25 to be another one of those fucking years. And can you guide me a little bit? But if you don't ask for help, you're just going to continue to repeat the same cycles you've always done. Don't get mad at me when I say this. You do not have the ability to solve the problem on your own. And that's what the world tells us, right? All right. What is the other one? There's only one, and that's imagination. So you found the right thing when you start imagining things that keep you excited. You can't wait to get up and start working on it. And I'll close with this. Does that mean that I'm leaving Akashics? Hell no. For billions of people, Akashics and Tap to Trade, I think, is the most incredible, miraculous thing I've ever seen in my 37-year career. Because I'll never forget the way I felt when I clicked on the app and did a couple of trades and I got a result. And still to this day, I know that there's a pathway because Arthur's proved it. Kai has proved it. Eric Markman has proved it. Tanya has proved it. Craig has proved it. There's people out there that are doing what they're supposed to do, and they're learning and they make mistakes as they do it, but they're passing phase 1 and phase 2, and now they go into funding. So I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, if someone pulled me aside and says, I need to make money as fast and quick as I possibly can, what should I do? I would become an Akashics member, do Tap to Trade to get results so you believe in it. And once you believe in it and you see yourself, like Arthur did, mind hacked himself, as soon as you do that, then all day, every day, you should be doing and plugging people into Akashics. So I do have one last thing to share with you. When this all happened with Joel, Matthew Thayer reached out to me and we had a couple-hour conversation. I just really got to know this guy, and I just think he's one of the coolest people on the planet. The guy is for real. And so I'm going to do a podcast with him, and he's going to do a podcast. I'm going to do a podcast with him. So I just thought it was wild that we had that long conversation, really got to know each other. And then all of a sudden this thing happened with Joel. And so I reach out to Mr. Thayer and I say, hey, you guys have been doing this for 8 years. I'm sure this happens before. And he goes, my God, it happens all the time. But he goes, Robert, don't you understand that it happens all the time with everything? You're in a great relationship. You're in the honeymoon period and everything's going great. And the next thing you know, you guys are fighting and we're going to call it off for a while. Does anybody know anyone in a relationship where everything's going great and then you get in a fight and then things are not going great? Have you guys ever heard of couples that, yeah, we've broken it off like 20 times in the last 2 years? You even come up with one of the most famous skits and Friends, right? You guys all know what episode I'm talking about. You know what's the comment that he says, Craig?
Sorry, I was not a Friends fan.
What was it, like we were on break or something? Is that what you're talking about?
We were on break. We were on break. So, of course, he goes out on a date And now she says, I can't believe that you found somebody and went on a date that quick. I never want to talk to you again. And he said, we're on break. So how many people can believe that there's different concepts to when you say, we need some time? You know what I mean? It's not you. Whatever excuse we use to put a relationship on hold, but it never seems to go back to the right place, right? And then for some people, it's the best thing that happened to them, right? So my suggestion to each and every one of you is moving forward, I'm definitely going to find things that each and every one of you can learn to really figure out your path and where you need to go and how things are going to work for you. And I just want you to know that when I asked Mr. Thayer, I said, hey, Maddie, when this happens, what do you tell people? And he says, I tell people, listen, trading can, without a shadow of a doubt, supplement your income. And guess what? When you start to master it and you control your emotions, I tell people you can walk away from your job. Some people do it in months. Some people do it in years. But do I believe in trading? Yes, I do trading. Now, if you want to make stupid money along with freedom as a lifestyle, and you love helping other people, you got to do network marketing. Isn't that crazy? So he was saying trading's like being a life coach. Trading's like a job, right? Trading's like an author. Trading is like being a personal development person. What you're doing is you're going to have excellent days and bad days, great weeks, bad weeks, good months, bad months, good years, bad years. So when he said that to me, he goes, Robert, listen, I just don't know of anything better that you can do in 200 countries that's digital. We have Tap to Trade. I believe that Akashics will be the biggest trade platform that's ever hit the planet. So I need you guys to understand that when I first got involved with trading, I got 6 wins in a row. Then I got a couple of bad trades. And my mind went, what's my imagination? My imagination is getting 10,000 active traders. That's $100,000 a month to me and my family, and also the orphans that I support. My goal is to get to 10,000 active traders as quick and fast as I can. And when I was focused on that goal, did you guys see any results from me? Went over 3,000 active traders. And I know some people are going to continue to just focus on the trading. Me personally, I'm still going to pass Tap to Trade, phase 1, phase 2, and go into funding, and so is Terry. But my number one goal is to get more traders into Akashics and focus on YouTube. So I just thought I'd share with you guys at the beginning of this call that I'm human, I make mistakes, please forgive me. And when I correct them, I'm just going to do my best. So I hope you guys learned from this. Hi, Lee. Hi, Lance. So, yeah, Justin Donwell. So back to you, Craig. We'll answer some questions. And so you guys know this, I do love UFC, and they're starting at 2. So we're going to knock out these questions, and I'm going to get to something I love.
All right. Sounds like a
I
plan,
love this,
sir.
by the way. I didn't say,
Well,
I didn't mean,
of
hey,
course.
let me get off this and get to something I really love. No.
All right. Well, we do have Bill Shoemaker's hand up and Arthur Waino's hand up. They will be starting in just a moment. Arthur, we're going to you first because that's the one I saw first. But first and foremost, we got to give a shout out to Melody Ryba. Bless you, Melody. Thank you so much for the super chat donation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
She donated in the super chat on YouTube, and that's very simple to do. At the bottom of the chat, there is a $ sign in a little box. Click on that. All the money that we take in from these super chats goes to the orphanages that Robert's shared, as well as any other organizations that Robert works with. So bless you, Melody. Thank you so very much. We love and appreciate you. And thank you again. All right. So, as I had mentioned, we got Bill Shoemaker, but first, Bill, you're on deck. Arthur Wainyo. Go ahead, Arthur. Thank you so much for joining us. Open
Trade
up and please share
Star.
it.
Trade Star.
Hey, Robert. I just wanted to say that you don't have to apologize to any of us for anything that you do. And I still believe that X is the place to be and YouTube. You can do both. It's not either or. Just
Right.
like it's not network marketing or trading. You can do both at the same time. Like what Matthew Thayer is telling you, you can do both at the same time.
Yeah.
They will both be great. But this last week it happened to me before. In
Yeah, I
back in
remember you saying to me, "Oh my God, I lost $5,000," and
I've
then
lost 6,000 before.
and
Um,
then also you failed a couple of challenges.
yeah, my first two challenges I failed, but it's just a tap on your shoulder, the market tapping you on your shoulder, saying, "Hey, you need to get back to following the trade plans and following what Joel says." Uh, so reducing your risk down to the 0.25, which is the default.
Right.
But the other thing too is that even at the default of 0.25 of your account, that's still higher than the lot size uh, that they're recommending in Joel's master plan. That's still a higher lot
You told
size.
me that. You told me that.
So this week, um, I don't know if all of you guys saw Joel's message that he's going to be doing trade alerts, but not tap to trades for a week, maybe more. So if you aren't doing trade alerts, then you're not going to be trading for like a week or two. So this would be a good week to go and watch his video on how to take his trades, and or look at his master plan on how to take those, because he's going to be sending out trade alerts, and you're going to want to know how to take those. It's not the same as doing the tap to trades with the lot size. So you're going to have to
Got it.
lower the lot size down, and it's not that big of a hit either when he's sending those out, because I'm using on my $100,000 account 0.15 lots
Okay.
instead of the 0.25. So when you're using a smaller lot size, you can take more of his trades. And if you lose two, it's not that big of a deal. You just are done for the day. And you lost, for me, it would be a little over $300 I'd lost.
Right.
So like this last week, I didn't lose 70% of my account. I didn't lose $6,000 of my account. I lost maybe 3% is all I lost
Got
for
it.
the entire week. And I took almost all of his trades, but I stopped after I lost three.
Got it.
So
Arthur, thank you. Because you shared that to me on a personal level. And that's what my goal is to start learning how to do trade alerts and copy and paste. I can learn how to tap. I can learn to copy and paste. I do that all day. So
it's not that hard once you do a few. Even if you're doing your first one, do a 0.01, and you're not risking like anything. You're risking like $1 or
right,
$2. Just do 0.01 just to try it out, test it out. Maybe do the next one 0.01, then the next one 0.01. Then you're like, all right, I got this. Now I'm going to do the correct lot size according to the master plan, and then you're into the trading.
right,
And a lot of people, they'll say, oh, well, that's such a small lot size. I'm like, well, he's throwing out like 5 or 6 trades a session, and I'm making anywhere from 75 to $120 on each of those trades. So you only need $500 a day to make $10,000 a month.
thank you.
So if
And
you,
you've already pulled out 20,000, right?
I pulled out 20,000. I was pretty close to, I needed a couple thousand more to pull out another 10,000, but this week kind of sent me back a little bit. So I'm going to work my way back up. Hopefully we'll have a good week or two here, and then I'll do another $10,000 withdrawal, because I want it to be an even 10,000, not like
Yeah. Well,
$5,700.
here's one more question if you can ask for anybody. Have you figured out exactly how much time you spend a day or a month following trade alerts with Joel?
I can tell you this, it's not as much as you think, because once you set the trade, it's done.
Got it.
Because you just are going back in there and checking on the trade, checking to see if you want to close it, or if you are just to see where it's at or where it's getting close. Because if you're setting like a TP5, some of the times, depending on the market, it doesn't reach the TP5. It only goes to TP1 or TP2. So if you see on my charts, I have like the moving average and stuff, so I can see them like curving around. I can see them curving around and starting to go down, and then you get all of a sudden you get like 3 or 4 red candles going down. Close it out.
Got it.
because
Got it.
it's probably going to be another couple hours before it even gets up to that TP again. And by that time, once it goes down, Joel's probably going to throw out another trade alert, and then you can take that one, because you'll close that trade out, and then you can open up another one.
Well, thank you, Arthur. You were our first trade star, and you continually impress me. And one of the things that I love too is that Josh said that in the Akashic's back office, they're going to start showing people's results on trade alerts and copy and trade. And so we get to start saying, oh, if I decide to do this, and everyone tells me, Robert, doing trade alerts is just as simple as doing tap to trade.
It
And
is.
I'm going like, okay, so my belief is what stops me from doing them. So I need to believe that I can do that, just like I believe I did tap to trade.
Craig, you can post that video that I made that you edited for how to take the trade alerts.
Mm-hmm.
It's really simple to set up a trade when you get the trade alert. For Joel, I know in my head, he's only sending out buy signals. So whenever I see, like if one comes across in Telegram, it says, oh, Joel set a new trade alert. I don't even look at the trade alert. I just go and click buy, and I know what my lot size is.
Holy
And then I go
cow.
look, because the market's moving. So then I'll go back into Akashics, look at what the stop loss is. I'll copy that, go and put it in edit the trade, put it in there, and then go and get the take profit and put it in there.
Awesome. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Arthur. I know Craig already is mentally in his mind going, okay, this is an edit. This is an edit. Just
yeah.
Arthur coming on here going, this is what we do. So thank you, Arthur. I appreciate you, man.
You're welcome. Appreciate you too.
And by the way, I did post that video, Arthur, that you and I did in the chats.
Yes.
So that will be available for everybody as well, because we
I believe I made that before Joel was even doing tap to trades. So, since he just started doing tap to trades, everybody got kind of spoiled, especially when he's on like a huge winning streak. Everybody got really, really spoiled.
Yeah.
And they think, this gravy train is never going to end. Well, it always does.
Gotta take the reds with the greens.
Yeah. You just got to know when to stop too. You can't just keep taking them and taking losses. Just stop.
Hey, that's what I was doing, man. I was on a roll, man. I was like,
stick to his rules. You lose 2 and then you're out.
Per session is what he says.
Yes. Yeah. Per session, then you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much, Arthur, for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And yes. Now, Robert, I know we're getting on towards the 1 o'clock hour, at least Pacific, 2 p.m. your time, and there's 3 hands that are up.
Let's go.
All right. So I see that Len has his hand up. I see that, Lance has his hand up. But first, we're going to Bill Shoemaker. So, Bill, go ahead, unmute, and please share with us.
Thank you, Craig. You're amazing, brother.
Hi, Bill. How are you, man?
I am incredible.
Awesome.
I'm super excited about this new promotion. It's like
the March Madness. You guys, if you haven't seen that, you can go to our go to our YouTube channel. And what is it? So the first week of March that we're in already, you introduce people to Akashics, and if you get one person at 149, you don't have to pay for April.
Right, and they're waiving the fees too.
Hell?
The sign-up fees.
I mean,
so.
I just posted the link to that video in the chat too, gentlemen.
And it gets gooder and gooder as the promotion goes on. So It's pretty amazing. So I forgive you, but I don't have to. I love and appreciate you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know, I reached a point again in my life where I go, dude, you got to start doing something, taking action. So, a little story for you. This morning I woke up pretty early and I picked up my phone and looked at YouTube. I watch YouTube way too much. It's like, you know, I got to get away from that. But it was interesting. It reminded me of you because guess what came up?
What?
Neville Goddard. And the title was How I Manifest Anything. And what did he talk about? He talked about imagination.
Amen.
The whole
I did
thing.
4 chapters. I did 4 chapters. I'm doing my fasting thing again. I think I'm on like day 6 or day 7. And I decided to read. I haven't read it in a while, but I was listening to and reading at the same time The Science of Being Well by Wallace Wattles. Wow. It not only
Oh,
not only imagination, but it said the things that we covered today. It was like, why do you realize that? Why do you constantly ask people what you should do instead of following your instincts? And it says logic. So the quick thing that he said in The Science of Being Well, if you guys haven't read that, a lot of people get the trilogy. As he goes, there's a story, and I'll make it quick that a bunch of people broke into like a church and pulled up the stone and stuff and opened up a grave of a saint. And they believed that if you touched the bones, you would be healed. And so once they did that, the word got out. And they said there's just, I don't know, it was someplace in Rome or something like that, but just massive amounts of people are going through this all the time. So they just decided to make it a sort of like a place where people could donate and stuff. And everyone just keeps going through there, and it's been going through there for years. And it said that the priest got up one morning and someone had stolen the bones of the saint. And so they panicked. They didn't want to tell anybody because the church was making so much money from people doing donations. And so they went out to the first grave they could find in the graveyard, and it was of a guy that was a murderer. And so they took his bones out of it and put it in place of where the saint was. And they said the amount of people that got healed actually went up because they were saying, isn't it obvious?
placebo.
It's not the bones. It was people that were praying that touched it and said, now I'm healed. I traveled this distance. I came here. And again, that's the whole concept of the certain way that, you know, we know thoughts are things. And I went, wow, what a perfect time. And he said, so when people want to deal with their health, the very first thing that they do is they go, I don't feel well, or I'm tired, or whatever. And then they hear a commercial. Are you tired? Do you not feel well? You know, whatever, you know, pharmaceutical drug that they can give you. You know, and it's just like really, really crazy. About all the concepts of the science of being well. So thank you for sharing that, because when I bought the audio to the book, and believe it or not, you search on Google and put in the science of being well, and you can find that PDF online. You don't have to buy it. You can read it immediately. But it's one of the books in the trilogy of, and the next one is, I'm going to go through that one next. I always do at the beginning of the year, which is the science of being great. And so yeah, it's because yeah, I'll say one other thing about it that was just crazy is they were saying that they actually have done studies of people that have had starvation happen to them. And there was one part of the world where I don't know where it was, but he says everyone, if you walked up to them and asked them, how long does it take for you to starve to death? And they go 10 days. Everyone knows that if you don't eat for 10 days, you're dead. And he said, so it was amazing that you could find people in this area and certain area that if they got in a shipwreck or they got lost, you know, in a park or hiking or whatever, that if they didn't find them within 10 days, they were dead. And he said, then there's other people that never got that piece of information. that they found them 30 and 40 days later without any eating. They're still alive. And he said the only reason they were still alive is they never heard that, hey, if you can't make it 10 days, you're dead.
I went for 30 days, brother.
And I'm going, isn't that crazy that, our mind's so powerful. And just like when you're diagnosed with a disease, you see some people that their mentality is, I'm going to kick cancer's ass. I'm going to kick their ass. And, just like the mentality that Magic Johnson had with AIDS. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, it's like you got these people that are going, not me, or what's that funny statement? Not today, Satan. You know what I mean? And then you got other people that as soon as they get the diagnosis, they start getting their house in order. And they usually are not around very long. They're like,
you know what happens if you don't eat? Guess what else doesn't eat? Cancer.
Whatever else it is. Well, thank you, Bill. I love you, man.
You're welcome. And yeah, I'm really excited. And I started reaching out, and I kind of got away from connecting on Facebook, and I did it this morning, and it felt so good to connect to people again. It's so powerful
that's one thing that we're all going to beat AI at. You know what I mean? Is making people feel
heart to heart. Yeah. And
I love you, brother.
I love you too. One more thing on the Akashics, Brent Badal, he does a great session on how to manage your money. You'd have to lose 20 trades in a row to lose an account the way he explains it. So
yeah, it is pretty hilarious that I talked to a guy that, had it's like there was a guy, and I'll just say this statement. He was like, Robert, the stuff that you're posting, it's obvious you're not following any plan. You're just trusting your instincts. And he said, so you tell everybody else they're supposed to follow a plan, follow a trader and follow a plan. And then you don't. And I just said to him, I go, well, me and my sons are black belts in martial arts. Both Matthew and Kyle qualified for the Junior Olympics and Taekwondo. And I said, so if you show up at a dojo, at a new Taekwondo studio, there's guys in there that are going to be teaching white belts, and they're going to be teaching them the basics of Taekwondo. You're going to see those people do things that are not basics. So when they're over in a corner doing a spinning kick or an axe kick or a back fist, you know what I mean? And they're slapping these bags and doing nunchucks and doing a bow staff, and it sounds like a helicopter blade. They're going to be doing stuff because they trust their instincts, but they also been doing the basics for a long freaking time. And they just keep adding another technique. And so when he said that, I go, so why would you want experts to do what why not? Why wouldn't you? I said, we watch everything in the world, from singing to acting to everything, sports. We all love vicariously watching someone use their soul and be in the flow. Some people call it the zone. And that's why that stuff attracts us, because you get to see human beings do stuff that other people just never will do. And so that's why you tune in. You're going like, well, why I want to go to my UFC fights.
One other thing, brother, the new promotion, do you think we should be promoting the new video that they put out yesterday, the Josh Weigel thing, or just your playlist?
I always do that. I always promote the new thing. I'm just like, I get as many people in front of that as I possibly can, because I still know, because I can document it, that saying as little as possible to as many people as you can and putting them in front of an effective presentation, they are going to say, I'm interested. And then get this, they'll virtually do everything without you.
Right.
I'm looking at the next person that's coming up to speak, and Lance, as soon as he heard about Akashics, he's going, this is my deal. This is my deal. And in another group, a whole new group, Lance is just performing, and there's people in there that are just kicking ass, man, because they're interested. They say, this is for me, and then they dive in. There's a person that I had this happen 6 times last month. And I know that some of you will not hear me and believe this, but now, I'm listening to stuff that you believe. Do you guys realize that I signed up 6 people last month, the month of March, at the $9.99, and they never ever reached out to me?
You mean the month of February?
Yes. Sorry. So the month of February, these people found me, found my link, paid $9.99, and just through the emails got connected to Akashics and the Telegram groups, and I still haven't talked to them.
And they don't care.
They probably don't think that they can talk to me.
Right.
Out of all of them, there was one other person that came in that I put her name in social media, but the name that she used to come in wasn't the same name that she used on social media. And she said she's seen a video on TikTok, but the person that posted it on TikTok wouldn't respond to her.
Wow.
So she put the name Akashics into YouTube, and my YouTube channel showed up.
Nice.
So she really looked at the videos on YouTube and then went to roberthollis.com, and through roberthollis.com, she clicked on the trading thing and signed up.
So you're going to put that promotion on your playlist?
It's already there.
Oh, it's already. I thought I looked. I didn't see it. Yeah. Okay.
If it's not, it will be when we get done here.
Okay. I was gonna donate today, but my Google account got hacked, and they got into my bank account. So I was wondering if Matt has an idea to make that more secure. Hey, those things happen.
Right. That would be a question for Google and YouTube. Man, how could we make it?
Multi-factor authentication. You need to have two-factor authentication attached to your cell phone number, attached to other Google apps that are on your smartphone. Believe it or not, I just was about to log in to my account, my Google account, on something else. To do so, I clicked login with Google. I then had to grab my phone, open my Gmail app, click confirm, and then out of 3 numbers, I had to pick the one that was on the screen to actually log in.
Yeah.
That might be frustrating to some people, but I use Google for everything. I like that you have to do that much stuff. So
I
hope that helps.
I love it because it stops fraud.
Right.
And Bill, if you can't figure that out, you and I are friends. You're part of the family. You can reach out to me personally, and I can give you a Cash App or whatever, and it would go to the same place.
Right. Well, I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Bill.
Love ya.
Love it. Love you too.
All right. Thanks so much, Bill. Appreciate you. Let's go ahead and get Lance in. Lance, go ahead, unmute yourself, and please share with us. Welcome.
Mr. Hollis, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. It's good to see your face again.
Good to see your face, Lance. Man, you're like the only person that's paying attention in that group over there.
Well, success leaves clues, okay?
Oh,
and the first half of your message was everything was in alignment, number one, okay? And it's so funny as you're talking about a shift. I know my book's a little blurred. John Maxwell's Leader Shift. Okay. And I just finished reading another book, and I said, the next book I read will jump out at me. And it was this. So,
very cool.
And everything that you said, we need to have a conversation offline because, as you know, success loves speed.
Yes.
And the universe wasn't leading you down Twitter to do what it is that you're good with.
Right.
There's another path one can take. And I need to share it with you because it's something that you could do in addition with YouTube. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
When I tell you right on time, time.
God is great, man. God is great.
He's always great, and it isn't until we start to submit and listen and he whoops our ass and spanks us a little bit to where it's
Well,
like, okay,
I'm glad that he reached out to you and said, "Hey, Lance, can you jump on this? One of my faithful followers, my warriors, are having a little difficulty. Can you jump on his AMA and straighten him out?"
look. And it's so funny is I have someone who's also a trader that's a master trader that's listening as well. I said, oh my gosh, we need to listen to this call. And I sent them, he's like, okay, I'm listening. And because I know we're talking about Akash checks and everything, I will say this too. You guys, don't be greedy. If you earn 1% of your account every single day, once you get to that 1%, get the hell off the app. Stop trading. It only take you 10 days of trading to get to 10%. So I'm gonna
It's
say it again
baby
because
steps.
I'm only
I tell
responsible for what
people
I say.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I tell people
Just that.
all the time. It's victory to victory to victory to victory to victory. It's baby
Yes.
steps. Take baby steps. Like Bill Murray, baby steps. Everything's a baby step. Everything's a baby step. Then I get in there, and
Hmm.
I used to be a professional race car driver. And I
Yes.
get it, man. I get it immediately. It's like I'm going around the track and the guy comes
Yes.
across and he says 23:25. And I'm going like, okay, I can do 23:12. I can do
Yes.
22:09.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then
Yes.
all of a sudden it's like, and you go off the track. You're like,
Yes.
how did this happen? Listen,
Uh-huh.
idiot, you're going too
Too
fast.
fast. Too fast. But success does love speed and you learn as you go.
Sure.
And of course, because we're all here to, make extra income, but it's reverse engineering that. And
Yeah.
then with the next wave, it could be, what if you made money by just promoting what it is that I have going on over here?
I
That's it.
to me, when I first
Yeah.
got involved and you first met me, that was my deal.
Yes.
Everybody's going, Robert, how you doing with trading? And it was funny because then people started
I
using
don't.
that. People use that as a benefit for me. They
Yes.
just went,
Yes.
they'd have like 300 people on a Zoom. And then the guy would always say this. He goes, Robert, can you tell everyone where you are in the challenge? And I said, I still haven't passed phase one. And he goes, why? And I go, because I'm not trading. And he goes, why? And I said, well, because I brought in 1,200 traders last month.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's funny that I fell away from that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? But I forget. Arthur said it best. It's like people always want to say, and God would never say this, is pick one. Never forget this
Yes.
at the beginning of my
Pick your
career,
lane.
where people go, well, why is it all about money with you? Isn't you're supposed to put God first, and then you're supposed to put family? Isn't family and God more important than money? And I go, I didn't read anywhere where he's told me that I had to pick between them.
Say you can have it all. Okay. Yes. That's it.
Yeah, it didn't say,
Yeah.
put me first and some things will be added onto you. He said, "All
Yeah.
things."
All things. All
Well, thank you,
things.
Lance. I'm going to reach out
Yes.
to you and we'll set up a Zoom. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Thank you for
I love you,
for
brother.
all
I
the
love
hard
you,
work
brother.
that you're doing and
You
setting
made
all
my
this up.
day jumping on here, man.
Hey, look, I'm going through it too, and the signs are all there. You just can't ignore them. You
Great.
can't because it's bigger. We know that it's bigger than us.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. It's like I was telling people, I remember a time when I made millions in network marketing over 37 years. And not only was the economy bad, but on top of that, things were going up in price. And then on
Yes.
top of that, major corporations were laying off people.
Mm-hmm.
And I said 24 hours a day on the news, it's like, hey, they just axed another 100,000 people from the government.
Mm.
Why? It's like because you got two mentalities. See, one part of this, one part of the side is the negative, and the other one's a positive. There's always double. And they did a testimonial with this one guy, and they interviewed him, and he said, "Listen, I'm 60,
Yeah.
right?" And he says, "I get this email." And he says, it's 100% for me spam. And it says, listen, hey, you can reply to this email and say I'm done. And we'll pay you till September and you can walk away. And he said, so I sent it to my supervisor and I said, is this legit? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, praise God. These guys are
That would
going
have
to
been
pay
me.
me. These guys are going to
Yes.
pay me and I can walk away right now and spend the next 6 months figuring out something that I need to do. He
The
says, I was
next,
just
yeah.
asking God that how am I going to get out of this dead end job? I have another 3, another 5 years. If I want to retire with a full Social Security, it's 67, 68. And he says, I was actually crying going, I got 6 more years at this freaking dead end job. And I get an email.
Yes. To set me free sooner.
He goes, I'm done. And I went, wow, isn't that a different response than,
Hmm.
what the news wants you to hear?
That's
They
it.
want to hear you about a single mom that just moved her 4 kids to getting a government job and she's getting laid off and she doesn't know what she's going to do. It's like, it's pretty
We get to
interesting.
control the narrative.
Control the
And
narrative.
and we're already in alignment with the right people here. So I know you
Yeah,
got
we
to
are.
get going to your
Yeah.
UFC match. It's already
I
set in
love you,
stone. We'll
brother. I love
connect.
you,
I love you
brother.
too. And we got some people to go help and lives to change. So
Amen.
I'm ready to make it
Amen.
happen. And all the
Back to
work is
you,
already
Craig.
done.
Back to you,
Have a
Craig. I'll
good
send
one.
you a message when I get done. We'll set up a time.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Okay.
Lance, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate you. And all right, well, then we're going to go ahead and put a wraps on today's AMA with the amazing Robert Hollis. Shout outs to Arthur Waino, Bill Shoemaker, Len Brown, Lance Kelly for sharing. Of course, to Matt Hollis. Matt, bless you, my friend. Thank you so very, very much for being our executive producer, the behind the scenes man. And of course, Robert, wow. Another great AMA. If you want it, there's information in both chats. So if you want to save the information in YouTube, we're going to post the information that we have in the post description below as soon as we finish. If you're watching us here on Zoom, go ahead and go to the chat, the meeting chat, click on the 3 dots next to Ask Me Anything, and then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer so you can get all of that great video stuff that we have shared and links. So thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. We look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. We'll have a lot more coming up. And as Robert has just shown us, stay plugged in. All right. So as we say so long for now, I will go ahead and unmute. Please be good to yourselves, be cash, and bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, Mr.
Bye,
Hollis. Appreciate
everybody.
you.
Daniel, Daniel, Kevin,
Hi,
Thank
Robert.
Have a
Dustin.
great day.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Robert.
Happy week.
I'm just going to
See you
say,
later.
good.
Happy March Madness.
Thank you, Arthur.
Oh,
Thank you,
March
DD.
Madness.
Lucas. Lucas. Let's see.
Heidi.
Hi, Karen. Hey, Kevin, Tom, Scott,
Robert.
Bill,
Robert, have a great
Michael.
one.